doesn't focus at all. I'm going to be honest.
It is.
It's very hard to focus.
We're about 22 days from the 4-year anniversary of us filming EPiC. It's 4 years ago.
Very cool.
What you think went wrong? This is somewhat of a eulogy pass / autopsy.
Postmortem?
Yeah. To like figure out where to improve and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't think you know what you wanted. Like, I think you knew what you wanted, but you didn't know, like, how to, like, actually make it happen.
That's fair.
I would say, I don't know. I would say probably just people weren't wanting to be as involved as you wanted them to be, as you needed them to be.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to get everybody together whenever there's not as much of a draw individually.
Right. How do you remember the plot going?
It was based around like a D&D game, and there was one character that had a mask that gave them a lot of power but also corrupted them, and so all the other characters were trying to fight the mask.
Was it like a ghost of his former self? No, it was a ghost. It was a ghost of the other dead one.
Mm-hmm. 2 dead ones.
There's 2 dead ones.
Yep.
And then Ross, and then the mask.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Yes.
One of the primary issues was probably the lack of understanding of what was going on, which was
Right.
on me. Like, I still haven't figured out how to explain what's going on,
Right.
even though I understand it, and it's super interesting to me.
Yeah.
I can't convey it well yet,
Right.
so.
No, that's part of the storytelling process.
Yeah.
That basically is the storytelling process.
Right.
Do you think that I will attempt to bring you back in to an iteration of EPiC at some point in the future?
Well, I think you might. Hopefully it's not in the same capacity.
Oh, I hope not either. I think I learned from each time,
I
if
think
anything.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
How long do you think I'll survive before I give in again?
Oh, 6 or 8 months? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You know what? Having a memory card, it might be helpful. God damn it. It's right here. It's right here, Batman. Just put in the spot. And then you know what? Gosh darn it. You're ready to go. Are we recording? We're recording there. We're recording there. Phenomenal. Center it a little bit. Be in weird, dramatic ass lighting. Perfectly fine. Hi, my name is Lauren. This is True Not Useful, the show about me? I haven't really figured it out yet. I thought it was going to take a different path, but honestly, it's kind of just been like okay, for some context, let me tell you a little bit about what I've been thinking about, but without the whiteboard this time, which is real sad because I love teacher mode. But essentially, what's been going on is for most of my teenage growing up years, I had this channel called Mr. Lobob, and I loved posting all sort of weird, creative sketch videos, edits, weird experimental arty things, and it was a lot of fun. But the weird thing is that I was kind of always playing a character or doing a bit or doing things with my friends, and I felt like I didn't really have that many options. Like obviously I was a teenager, and so I was in very much a space of like doing a character in the bit and the kind of jester act, if that makes any sense. And so when I created True Not Useful as this self expressive introspective, weird project. It allowed me to express myself far more than I ever really did in Mr. Lobob. Like, I never did this, really. And so it was just a really weird thing. But the reason why I'm talking about all of this, and the reason why I think this is really interesting, is very recently a movie project that I worked on for a very long time just turned 7, which is crazy to me. And something that I was reflecting back on is that this channel that I had, Mr. Lobob, and the movie project called EPiC, both had a lot of importance to me, and they were both tied to a couple of different things that I was very passionate about at the time. And looking back at them, things that I'm still very passionate about to this day. So the first thing is the engineer from Team Fortress 2. And shit. Basically, this little guy, that little guy, is the engineer. And he's my favorite class from this really old game called Team Fortress 2. And I didn't realize it, but I really only played it for like 3 years. I can actually like look back at when different updates happened. And it wasn't a very long time. And the amount of time I had on that character as well as the game was weirdly low. And so it was just fascinating how much of an effect it had on me. And that like my entire brand was this engineer character that I had made. So much so that one of the characters in my movie was my engineer character with the Texas 10-gallon and the wrench and everything else. It wasn't a super faithful recreation, but the Texas 10-gallon, this white cowboy hat, was like the main part of it, which I still have in my white cabinet over there. Anyway, it was really fascinating to me because I recently got back into Team Fortress 2, so much so that I really started like tryharding on this engineer character, so much so that I recently got into a tournament, like an actual like tournament with other players that like really care about the game as the engineer character, and it's been some of the most fun I've ever had. And just to reflect that back on where I came from in this creative journey, that I still connect back with that younger version of myself that was so passionate about this character. Similarly, in that movie, the main antagonist has this mask that is very directly created based on a Five Nights at Freddy's character, which even to this day, friends that I have now that were not around for the Mr. Lobob era or the EPiC era know me as a FNAF guy because I love the series so much and I love the story so much and all the characters and everything else. And then, you know, to a lesser extent, a lot of things about Undertale were also very prevalent both in the channel and in the movie. And again, like, I don't know, my heart really just resonated with the fact that all of these things that I was so passionate about, to the point of kind of diluting this weird story that I had in my heart to put in different references both to things in the channel like the Pokemon battle, which was a little sketch we did beforehand, as well as my TF2 character and FNAF and Dungeons and Dragons, which I hadn't played Dungeons and Dragons at the time, so a lot of the references were pretty rough and it didn't really make sense as a D&D game. But now I actually play D&D a lot with my friends, and it's like the main thing I do now. And so just like everything about it, it's just like I go back like 8, 9, 10 years to when I had this huge passion project, and I'm like, holy shit, Like, that little guy right there, he's me. He's just more excited and passionate to, like, express and show off those kind of passions and excitements that he had. And that inspires me. Personally, little young baby Lauren inspires me. And I think that's super cool. And it has made me cry a few times looking back at just how influential that part of my life was, and how much of a grip it had on my life, and how much they persist to this day. And that was kind of the thing that I was having a hard time articulating, as well as a lot of the struggles of the time. I know I've harped on this point plenty, but essentially that, like so much of that era was just a difficulty to convey my creative ideas, like the passion and the how far I was shooting was just not on par with the level of expertise or communication skills I wanted to have. And so a lot of those ideas fell flat, and that left me feeling very isolated and very misunderstood. And yeah, it's just a really fascinating part of my life to look back on. And I really wanted to, the funny thing is I started working on a 7th year anniversary because it was, 5 days ago, was the 7th anniversary of EPiC, this movie. And I was so passionate about, like, yeah, I'm gonna, like, bring all of these different historical clips and, like, explain the whole history and everything else, and try to finally, like, piece everything together. And then it dawned on me part of the way through the process that I'm like, shit, I'm just doing the same thing again. I'm just clawing at the desire for that passion to be understood and appreciated how I had wanted it to the entire time. All 7 years that I have been attempting to throw this story back together in order to be understood. And I realized that wasn't healthy for me to do that, to try to force this story again in like a, please, you gotta understand the genius and the passion, because it's like a story that I'm genuinely fascinated by and excited by. And one day I really do hope that I gather the vision to tell it in a way that resonates with other people, but right now it's just not there. And that's okay, and that's the thing that I'm trying to work at, is like, for so long I believed, like, as an insecurity thing, that if I could explain the idea well enough, the explanation of the idea would resonate with people. And that's not really how art works. And so I gotta take some patience. Like, I can just wait and tell the story how it needs to be told in order to resonate. And part of that comes from the thing that I've been trying to do and kind of failing to do is... Do you stop recording? Oh my gosh. I'm almost done, so I'm gonna finish this up. Basically, that I'm attempting to tell the story for myself, like, to tell it in a way that is satisfying to me instead of the desire of it being understood by others. And I hope that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, it's gonna be fine. And if I can meet the goal of it being satisfying to myself, I hope that will be sufficient enough peace for this huge, dumb project. Anyway, have a good night. Okay, It's about midnight, and I have been editing this, and there were a couple of more thoughts that sprouted up as I was editing this, so I'm just gonna go back over here, and basically, when I was editing this, I made the decision post-recording to add all of the EPiC autopsy clips, because they were really impactful to me, especially in the context of what I was talking about. But I do just want to say that I left a lot of it out, but goddamn, I made them so uncomfortable. It completely understandably by pushing, like, surprising them with a huge interview about my student project from 4 years ago at the time. And so I assume that they're going to watch this at some point, so I just want to say to you, thanks for putting up with all of my shit, and also I am so sorry for putting you through particularly that interview, the entire thing, but particularly, like, we can only hope that we can look back, like, our future selves look back on us and cringe as much as we look back on our past selves. But anyway, I love them all a lot. I think they're all fantastic. And we go on vacations with them almost every year. We just came back from the end of year one very recently. So I just wanted to end this video with a cute little old-timey, like, slow clippy thing of photos that we had from then, which show all three of the people that were in the clip. So it stopped recording again. This guy. Anyway, that's how I wanted to end it. Thank you for watching, and clip video. Bye. Also, that tournament I was mentioning, the final and semifinal, which we're in the semifinal, is happening tomorrow, and it's midnight, and I should have been sleeping like 2 hours ago. So this video might be the reason we lose. I don't know yet, but anyway, we'll see. Okay, bye.
Oh, it's getting real dark.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the sun is literally setting.
Wait.
Look at it.
Oh, that's super cool looking.
Oh, don't look at the sun though.
If I do it to you instead of to camera, does that mean they're not the best moments?
It might not be. You should do them to camera.
Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe and downvote this video on Reddit.
Thanks to all my Patreon subscribers. You can see the list. Short list.
Yep. It's just me.
The sun literally is setting right now.
Oh.
It's like, it's gone. The sun has set. That's incredible.
Oh no. That looks super cool though. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Bye, Gracie.
Oh, there's a big crane right there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh, he was just hanging out. Hello, crane.